Hey there team, and welcome to Silmarillion. This is actually a fight from, goodness, like 2 and a bit years ago by this point. So I should state, yeah, big disclaimer of course, the next few videos that are coming out about Silmarillion, they're all from that period. They're all from about two, as say, almost 3 years ago. So Silmarillion is of course in a bit of a different state than it is now. For a lot of people this will be a bit of a blast from the past, I'm sure. But there's an awful lot of these recordings that I certainly do want to get through, you know, and that were definitely quite special to me, so I don't want to throw them away or anything like that. So hopefully we can sort of enjoy that either way, and it'll be fun to, yeah, I guess look back at how some of these units were and the changes that have come since then. But this is a little 3-man free-for-all. I'm seeing Panthan here. I'm wondering, I don't think I'm part of this. I think a lot of these fights I am part of. Little 3-man, oh, this is very nice. And yeah, oh yeah, I've played on this map before. I like just the boats sitting there, you know, just this like dried lake bed sort of feel. Anyway, I should rattle through his army. He's got the Grey Elves of Mithrim today, or Mithrim. We've got the Hewing Guildsmen of Androth there. 2 units. Along here, some Hunters of Mithrim. These Bane of, sorry, what the Hunters, where's the Bane of the Incomers? What have they got kicking about? A little assassin. Oh no, they do have bows. They do have bows on them. Sentries of Mithrim there. They are the Spear and Shield forces. And in the back here, the Bannerats of Hithershore. Look like knights or lancers. Couldn't quite say. Smaller unit size, so I'm assuming maybe knights. And then the scions, of course. Those really beautiful hammers. Behind them, more of these hunters of Mithrim with their javs. My throat is sort of going for a second. I'm just waiting for my tea to cool down slightly, and then I'll gulp that down. And that should be fine. But there'll be a little bit of a rumbly tone for a minute. I'd say free-for-alls are always tricky, especially when it is just sort of 3 players. You've got to, you know, you've really got to conserve your strength a bit, but you can't you can't be sitting out of it. Let's go to, it is 19,000 frames, but let's go to 0.3 speed. I'll watch the mini-map to make sure we don't clash or something. First enemy today is General Artorius. He's got triple armors of the hammer. He's playing as Gondolin today. So yeah, some fierce hammer fighters there. Champions of the Fountain behind. 2 units. Lords of the Golden Flower. Shield bearers of the Tower in the back. And now, of course, Gondolin is there's so many elven factions in Silmarillion, of course, but Gondolin is a very expensive, not quite as expensive as some, but it's definitely up there in terms of their cost. So we will be expecting a smaller army, but I'm pretty sure that we might have some forces of the tree hiding somewhere, but we'll see what pops up later. That does seem slightly too small. And then Gervais here, he's playing as Doriath, who's got a sword host of Rhygian, triple sword hosts, or double at least, shield bearers of Rhygian, rangers of the girdle there with their stakes down, warriors again, and wardens of the girdle, so that higher tier archer with a higher tier archer with axes, with dual axes it seems, as they pull out after they've used their bows. Then the shield bearers in the back, marksman of Rhygian, spear host of the girdle even, so that more sort of lower, well, militia I guess. Looks like the little detachment, yeah, the detachment version, just so a smaller unit size. But they do have those javelins, more warriors, Donath in Mablon there, mighty macemen really, and then shield bearers to the side too. I should state as well, this has been about 2 years since I've done any sort of Silmarillion recordings. No, it's not been 2 years, but it's been some time since I've done any recording of Silmarillion, so I will be probably misjudging a few things, no doubt. But yeah, we can experience it together. Sure. So I love Doriath. Doriath is for me, I think Doriath is a great faction to sort of learn Silmarillion from. There's not that many gimmicks with Doriath. You know, it's just simple. Our guys are pretty good. and go for it, you know, that's kind of it. So I do definitely recommend them, but of course Gervais knows what he's doing. and you can do some pretty wild stuff with them either way. Anything popped up from Artorias? No, not yet. He's still playing the game. He's still like, oh, this is all I've got. It looks like everybody is sort of clashing together. We'll zoom the minimap in. Yeah, and I was thinking the first clash was going to be with Panthan, but maybe not. We're not opening fire, are we? Because once you start loosing arrows on somebody, you are initiating it. Nobody's... Okay. Everybody's really just converging right now, it seems. You can see on the minimap there, Panthan's got some cavalry off at the back. That is one thing that, of course, Doriath does lack cavalry. They've got the cavalry I like to counter enemy cavalry, but they don't have much in the way of like lancers and so on to really get the work done. So well, at least for now, Artorias hasn't gone for any cavalry, so Panthan does have a lot of freedom. But running over here, I think he's about to bump into something. Like, this is where I'd be hiding my little sneaky boys. So we'll see. Again, the minimap, if a little red blob pops up there. Still no clash. Still no shooting either. Yeah, no nothing. I do like Artorias' situation here. It's quite cool. A little shot at that. I don't think that'll be what I use, but this is quite cool. Let me roll with that. I'm hearing a horn. No, that wasn't anything. As everybody is getting an awful lot closer to each other now. I don't know if there's an agreement with this at the start. Again, like Panthan would have sent me this, or I would have stolen it from the Discord. That's very possible too. A lot of the... Fantastic. I do like this from Artorias. I like this a lot. I'm definitely grabbing that. Oh no, I was too late. But that was a very cool... They might be in group mode, so they might reform when they end up getting there. But goodness me, if there was some artillery piece, that would just be dramatic. But yeah, quite an intimidating little... I don't know what to call it, like a little mace of just death that can be slammed in, a real hammer force that's moving around. Yep, he's reforming over here again. I mean, as good as Doriath's troops are, you know, we're going to be needing the bloomin' the Scions to be battering into this. But even then, the Lords of the Golden Flower are standing right in the middle of it. It's a bold move, Artorias. And I mean, he's not right in the middle, but you can't argue that he isn't claiming the field. You know, hey, who knows? They're fighting over some secret ancient cargo that's inside the side of this boat. You know, that's always what I feel about a free-for-all. It's about, you know, it's about claiming the ground and showing that, like, look, hey, I'm willing to fight. I'm right in the middle of the map. You know, I'm not tucked in away. If Panthan had hidden himself over on this slope, say, taken a position there, then I think he would have probably attracted a lot of attention. Now, let's see, there's some good armor. Of course, Gondolin's got a lot of shields here and a lot of good quality armor. So Panthan and Gervais could just unload ammunition on him and they'd shrug off a good bit of it. But I mean, with the likes of some javelins, especially, yeah, these fine axes coming out. I love the antlers on the helmets. So cool. Shore Riders coming in. And we have started. This is actually the first sort of casualties being taken here. Now Artorias, okay, good. There is going to be a clash from Gervais here, but again, axes, really high quality axes going straight into the Lords of the Flower. And yeah, well, that's the clash beginning. Are we getting a slam from the other side? Yeah, Panthan is coming around the other side too. How is this going? Right now, it's a bit shaky for Artorias' lines. So that's kind of surprising. Oh, goodness me. A little bit of friendly fire, but that elven accuracy is helping them out an awful lot. And Gervais' warriors are really holding their own. I love, yeah, you've got the shield bearer sort of stance with that, sort of stabbing up and over the shield instead of just down under it. It's fantastic to see. Lords of the Golden Flower getting engaged now, not really wanting to take, yeah, they're still being targeted, but lucky for them, some of their allies are taking the hits for them. What? But yeah, a lot of damage, and with Panthan coming in from the other side, this is looking a bit spicy for him. This is, I really thought, oh gosh, yeah, see, this is dicey. When you've got a very small defensive line like this, you can be getting hit from behind. Champions the Golden, well, sorry, Champions the Fountain there, stuck in the mix of it all. Over here, yeah, even the Mablung are coming forward. That certainly is more than capable. Okay, you're seeing victory as a distinct possibility from a lot of the Gondolin lines now. Looks like after the charge is worn off, you are seeing that slightly power imbalance, or I guess this quality imbalance coming through, and Gondolin is showing their superiority now, even up against the exceptional warriors of Doriath. We've missed this conflict over here, unfortunately, but I was looks like, yeah, the little sentries of Mithrim. I'm actually gonna have to slow down slightly because there's a few things happening over here I want to catch, but looks like the sentries of Mithrim are being sort of battered through by the really aggressive charge of Doriath, and then he's getting stuck into the back lines, getting into these hunters and everything as well. Looks to be, yep, no, some Scions and some Hewing Guildsmen are coming over to shore up that position. But all the way over here on this far right flank, Eagle-eyed holding the line, opening up on the charging forces. What is this? Goodness me. So we're exchanging some fire. Again, another fallen ship, just 2 spear hosts of the girdle. I understand it was just a detachment, so there was only 75 of them, but just 2 men standing their ground there, still throwing their javelins at the bannerats. Over here, again, Bane of the Incomers, trying to exchange some fire. It looks, it's very interesting. We've got like 3 different types of battle. Over here, it's much more wide open skirmish engagements going on, that cavalry doing some work. Over here, more of a standard sort of straight line engagement with a push through. And then I don't really know what to call this. Over here, just a bit of a cinematic clash, I guess. Let's go back to 8 to 0.9. Slightly slower is fine. And again, Gondolin has sorted this situation out. It was really spicy for them at the start, and I was kind of expecting, especially getting attacked from both sides, I was expecting to see poor Artorias just getting wiped from the field, you know, in an instant. But he's managed to hit him and his troops. I don't quite know how many orders Artorias is giving right now, but sorry, one second. Yeah, I don't know how many orders Artorias is given right now, but he's his men are holding the line, which is quite good. I've got one of my friends sending me Steam messages right now, and but unfortunately they don't show up when OBS records. So no, unfortunately you don't get to see the silly memes coming in. Anyway, here, Axeman of the Girdle. Ooh, he's okay, funny. So he's using his like javelins, or throwing axes to try and keep the cavalry back. Ah, we do have outriders. Fantastic, good. So again, I'm not too sure of Mithrim's cavalry ability, but I'm seeing these shore riders. I'm assuming they're kind of sort of lighter cavalry by the looks of them. I don't know if they've got, say, an anti-cavalry ability, but the outriders getting that charge in and now engaging them, that was spicy. That was really spicy. And yet getting thrusted in there too. Dear me. Fantastic. And they have some infantry, some very high quality infantry. We don't want to see these guys get charged, but hopefully working in amongst the cavalry should be sort of game over. It's definitely a very nice way to sort of deal with sort of high tier cav. If you can kind of use one of your lower or mid tier cavalry units just to catch them and then just swarm them with infantry. But of course, it's a lot easier said than done. Again, Gondolin just being able to rely on that high quality, that great morale, good equipment, great equipment in some cases, to carry them through here up against even the troops of Doriath. So yeah, I mean, if we had been slammed by a horde of orcs, you know, just imagine how well that formation would have held out against that. But I guess, of course, then you would have had situations with trolls and all the monsters that maybe would have broken it open a lot better than even the skilled elves of Doriath can. Over here? No? Okay, I was thinking these men were being pulled back because the situation's sorted over there, but maybe not. It looks like maybe they've been pulled back, the situation's been broken. Oh no, bannerats are still active. And we're slamming into the marksmen of Region. Still arrow fire from the Rangers, but it does look like Pantheon's got this situation mostly under control. But again, it's still so spread out over here. It's so, just ping pongs. I don't think you even hear the Steam messages. You might hear the Steam messages. But yeah, he's going for it today. Hunters of Mithrim are, they've managed to catch the Outriders of the Girdle, trying to get some payback for what they had done to the friendly cavalry. And even, of course, even without any anti-cavalry abilities, maybe the hunters have an anti-large sort of bonus. Could do. I'm just running on this idea of the name hunters. You know, we do have a lot of these little units that are just good at dealing with monsters. So maybe. Over here, now things are okay. Yeah, as great as these Gondolin forces are, it does seem, well, the victory is certain now, but it does seem like they're starting to get overwhelmed just by the swarms of grey elves that are coming at them. These axemen colliding on the other side. And how's it looking now? I mean, again, the shield bearers at the tower doing exceptionally well. I think shield bearers mixed in with the armorers is fantastic because I'm always a big fan of spears mixing in with an AP unit, or pikes mixed with an AP unit. That is just such a dream combo for me. And seeing that both with sort of high tier units and low tier units can be great. Say, oh no, that was just, I was thinking there was an artillery piece or some sort of magic equipment, but no, that's just a little lighting glitch there going off. But you see this a lot in it, again, with Reforged and Silmarillion. Of course, they do play very differently in an awful lot of ways, but there's a lot of similar tactics that you pull off in both mods. And a very common, well, something that I love to see in Reforged is when somebody's playing as a very low tier orcish faction, and maybe using one of their like little, say, Witch Realm pikes, which are actually quite an effective unit, and mixing it in with what the little orcish axemen are called from Angmar. But yeah, just mixing in with, you can get a really effective little combo with some quite cheap units in some cases. Or I guess lumberer, probably a better alternative would be, say, lumberers mixed in with Greenway Garrison footmen type thing. That would be quite good. Over here, Champions of the Fountain still holding out, down to 19 men, but again relying on that exceptional morale, and you see 58 their opponents are shaken or wavering at that. Really struggling here. But if every single one of these 57, we'll say 57 now, if they can stick around, if their morale holds, then they should be victorious. I don't think so, but they should do very well. But they might end up breaking. If they break at 40 or something like that, then this could be very spicy. There we are. Got the Guildsmen of the Harp, or sorry, Guardsmen of the Harp, not Tree Boys. I thought we'd have the I don't remember what they're called, but little Scouts of the Trees coming out. But no, it's the Guardsmen of the Harp coming in as the secret force. I don't quite know where they were hiding, but that's quite interesting from Artorias. I wonder why he sort of went for these guys instead. I guess hoping that the enemy, say, cavalry is dealt with, and just relying on these just the solid sword and board force to be reliable, and as they come in at the end and finish off his foes, which is kind of looking like that's gonna happen. The little power square in the center here is now being able to sort of focus fully on Doriath. Doriath still has a good chunk of troops, but we're about to get a flank on them, and that might end up causing some sort of break, some sort of rout. More guards in the Harp. I just don't know how we're answering to all these guardsmen. At this point, of course, the Grey Elves and Doriath need to be stopping any sort of combat they're having with each other, and fully focusing on their shared foe, which it does look, yeah, their shared foe of Gondolin, which it looks like that's what they're doing. We'll go to 1x speed now, I feel. I think we're doing okay. And, yep, no, nothing over here, just having a quick glance to make sure that little combat is over, and those two guys up in the north look to be routing at this time. You can zoom in the minimap if you want, but you can't really, again, in free-for-alls, you can't really tell unless it's one of you or your teammate engaging. But yeah, it shows you, I guess, the formation that's clashing here. And you can get a... Oh, Shieldbearer's getting shot in the back there by the Spear Host of the Girdle. Might not be an incredibly well damaging javelin coming into their backs, but it's not fun, and they're hitting the vast majority of that. It looks like the hammerers, this one guy who's managed to push through, But Artorias is trying to shut that down. Oh no, it's not just him. There are two others that have gotten through, taking a hit, but getting back up. Absolutely fantastic. Looks like the Rangers were maybe opening up on them. Are we going to get a point-blank volley at them? Oh, yeah. So they were targeting them. Now, the problem is, some of those, they might have been trying to go for some of the men that were inside of all this. But either way, these three guys, or these three guys that are here right now, are not going to wipe out this unit, of course, but they'll stop them shooting, or he'll just, I think Gervais is probably doing the smart move and just trying to ignore them here, just continuing to go into the backs of the shield bearers to get them worn down. Goodness sake. And of course, just showing you the exceptional quality of these Gondolin forces. They've been fighting through tremendous punishment. They've been shot at. They've had those massive axes coming into the back of them. We've got the Mablins still going. 43 of them, so they've been fighting for a long time, but they've always sort of toward the back of the line, not really taking too many hits. So they're going to be tough to break through. I'm quite surprised that they're not enjoying that fight right now. Are the Guardsmen of the Heart better than I think? I'm imagining that they're kind of just, of course, like upper mid-tier sword and board, but maybe they are actually an awful lot more impressive, and because they seem to be having quite a good fight against the Mablin. What we got over here? Well, whatever it was is gone now. I think, are these those high-tier axe throwers? Yes, I'm seeing that shield. I was wondering where they had gotten to. Not quite on the same tier melee-wise as the Mablin, but certainly quite something. And again, the Guardsmen of the Heart quite comfortably won that engagement. So, damn. They barreled through. So I'm really quite surprised that Artorias was able to like hold back that tide. Now, of course, if the guys wanted to be a little bit more cheeky, they could have just formed it. They could have just kept opening fire onto him for the full time and used up their full ammunition in sort of a very efficient way. But at that time, then that would have taken an awfully long time to do. And who knows how their little engagement would have gone on the side if they had, if they were just skirmishing away with the center. Still some arrows coming in though. Eagle-eyed over there. Panthan looks to be having some victory over on his end, but I think these poor Doriath fighters are just buying time at this point. I mean, every arrow is going to help an awful lot. Any hit, and of course, Panthan doesn't really mind if he gets a little bit of, well, in this case, maybe friendly fire. But it will be shooting the front of that shield bearer. So, shield bearers, maybe not the most heavily armored, not a lot more well armored than, say, their great descendants in Mirkwood and later ages. But that heavy shield is giving them such a massive resistance to these arrows. Mablung again fighting it down to 37, starting to get a full surround now as the shield bearers to their backs are whittled down, and that should be there. What are we fighting over here? Few leftover guys tucked in inside there. Looks to maybe be routing now. Oh no, they're not. It's the sword host. It's still kicking. Fantastic. And over here, one armorer that managed to push through. Tried to keep the spear hosts from throwing their javelins, but there's not many. Well, yeah, he's just alone now. And those spears, if those spears do decide to do a little 5v1 situation on him, he will go down pretty quick. But I think even if that's the case, he's going to kill this last guy. But no, it looks like Gervais is going to try and just ignore him, just get back into guard mode, or get away from him maybe, and just try and throw the last of his javelins over here. Spear host of the girdle. Looks like they were maybe targeting the hammerer. I think they still are. That's actually going to do a bit more harm than good is the problem, as they're much more likely to get a bit of friendly fire there. But again, it's only two little javelins coming in, so Gervais has a lot more pressing matters to contend with here. And again, you're seeing the morale. Yeah, that's one guy left. He totally surrounded, and he's having a good time. He's doing his best. I say Doriath is I just think it's a great faction to get your hands on and to play around with, because hopefully, let's say decent armor, decent shields, good quality men across the board, so sort of gives you time to learn the game. I'd say same with Reforged. I think stay away from some of those more glass cannony factions. Stick to the armored up factions. Stick to the decent morale factions, because generally when you lose, you'll lose slowly, and you'll hopefully work out why you're losing. The Scions are still kicking about. I didn't quite see how many Scions were left, but I did see them pop up. We should be able to. They do stick out. If there was quite a lot of them, I think I would spot them easier. So, oh no, there they are. 20. There's still 20 Scions. Holy smokes. Okay, well, I mean, they're going to be really tough to deal with, unless they've lost a few of their hit points. But no, I mean, that's going to grind its way through. We'll see. Actually, I was handing this win to Gondolin, to be honest. But maybe I didn't realize just how many Grey Elves were still kicking, and it might be. I mean, if Gervais digs his heels in and just keeps killing as many Gondolin forces as he can, this could be still possible for Panthan. It could certainly still be possible. Either way, yeah, you're seeing another. They've managed to sort of fully turn around now to focus on the Grey Elves, still taking fire. Those spear hosts did not die. Yeah, they've dealt with that hammerer, and they're still. I mean, it's not many. But if they're just constantly giving that damage to the back lines of Gondolin, then that's certainly something. And the balance of power is very rapidly approaching equal. Over here, we're still seeing a few Doriath forces holding out up against these guardsmen of the harp. Okay. Eagle-eyed there, engaging in melee. I'm starting to surely once the shield bearers get organized, this will be okay. But the Scions, how do we kill the Scions? Oh wow, okay, there's only 13 of them left now. They must have been taking a tremendous amount of damage, so they maybe they aren't going to be too much of a problem. Yeah, the shield bearers are enjoying this fight now, but they're still just taking, you know, every few seconds. That's like at least 10 javelins hitting their backs. You know what? That's not nice. Certainly not a very fun thing to deal with. On pretty even ground, they are on a hillside, but they're sort of fighting along the hill, not down from it. Those hammerers engaging the flank now. They should be able to work their way through. I love that the Scions are quite spread about the line. Like this guy's all the way over here, whereas the rest of his unit's down in this area. I quite like that when you've got an elite unit that spreads out. It's usually not beneficial, but it's quite thematic and it's quite cool to see. We really do need these shield bearers to go down, but again, that's a spearman with a good quality shield and a lot of elven defensive skill. Does not die quickly, and they seem to actually be.
Captured the enemy general.
That's Doriath's general that went down there. That might hurt them. Yep, that did actually break them. That finished them off. Ah, okay. Had they not lost that general? Oh, even these archers have come around to the flanks now. They're very close. So yeah, of course, Gervais and Panthan have definitely worked out that they needed to work together. But as you can see from the balance of power, Panthan is now almost. Yep. Well, there we go. He is now half of the power on the map. So he is now the strongest guy. So the interesting thing is, oh, what the hell? How did you break and not the two guys? How did the 13 guys run away and not the 2? Oh, okay, well that kind of limits. That really limits Gervais's options here. Are you still targeting them? Still targeting them. You see, now is the point where Gervais needs to start thinking like, do I attack Panthan or do I attack Artorias? Because it looks like Panthan's going to be winning this engagement here. So, you know, he needs to maybe, if he still wants to win, he needs to make sure Panthan is as weak as possible after he wins. But only having 2 guys, if he still had that unit 13, that unit 13 could turn around and quite quickly deal with the Eagle-eyed. Or maybe even before Panthan even knows what's happening. And then you're basically just standing at a distance. Whatever survives here has got to charge toward you. You've got maybe 2 volleys into them. I'm not saying it's a big possibility.
The enemy's general lies dead.
Did he get shot? I think that because he was in amongst here. I think that was poor Artorias' general. that I think he got shot in the back. He didn't even take the hit from it. I wonder how many scions we've got left. Spotting now. Ooh, again, I mean it. Oh, have I been counting my chickens? Maybe. We've still got a few of these guardsmen flanking around. I don't see any scions. Oh, there's one. There's one. Three of them. There's only 3 scions left. Okay. It's going to be really close. I'm still leaning Panthan. I would love to see something happen for Gervais, but I just don't. I have no idea what it could be. I just don't. I think he's only got 2 guys. I don't think he's got anything else tucked away. These shield bearers are grinding away. They're going to be so tough to kill. But Panthan's he's got the numbers. He's still shooting away at them. There's still some hammerers. Bro's coming all the way over here into these guys, into the hammerers. Interesting. So he's targeting the hammerers. He's not targeting the shield bearers, which I guess. I mean, the hammerers are probably the worst threat, but I feel the shield bearers you've got less risk of like friendly fire. Eagle-eyed seem to be having victory at the minute. Again, that animation is so cool. I love the fight underneath this tree. It's nice. You've got the little boat ruin and the wreck in the background there. Is yeah, it's all pretty cool. Just gonna gulp of tea. It's okay. It seems to be leaning toward Panthan. I'm just doubtful. I'm just really doubtful on this. You know, those archers, I don't know how much damage the eagle-eyed arrows are doing. Still a handful of the. Oh, these are eagle-eyed and melee. So the eagle-eyed, when they are proper like axes and shields when they. Oh no, are they? Must have been looking at somebody else. Oh, wait, did he? He is. Yeah, okay. So Gervais has sort of seen what I was thinking. He has turned around and opened up on the eagle-eyed, and so it looks like Panthan's just kind of turned around to face him, but maybe not given the attack order, or he maybe just gave the click for the attack order and then got distracted by something else and they've not done it. But yeah, see, if this was a full if there was a 13-man unit there, they could quite quickly rinse these guys. But just 2 of them, they're just not going to kill them quick enough. Like, Panthan's going to notice that. He's going to give them 1 volley and it's going to be game over. Then again, like, 2 guys just cannot output the damage that's going to be needed for this. Yeah. The shield bearers are... Okay, now it's definitely saying victory is certain for them. Again, shield bearer, well, spearmen do not put out damage quickly, but they take it very, very slowly. This guy does not want that fight. He's dropped the banner carrier. He's like, actually, I'm going to go kill a spearman. He's going to leave the... is that going to be a charge? No, he didn't get a charge bonus on it or anything like that. And doing a little 2v1. What's happening? They broke him. Oh, that's a stinger. Okay, that's game over. That's game over then. Yeah. What caused... Did he come in for a rear charge? That's smart then. Okay, good move, Panthan. Yeah, that was actually for the best. And, yeah, no, I didn't actually think to do that. I was just, thinking use up your ammo, but maybe he already had. And, coming in for a charge like that was a good move. Just broke the lines, because I think had they let that fight just carry on, I think that those spearmen would have finished off Panthan's forces. I don't see anything more engaging. Maybe a few little... No, he's running. That armorer is out of there. I think he was maybe that one fighting guy. We were seeing him do that charge. Tracing these guys off. It's still about 1,000 frames. There must be a fight happening somewhere. Maybe Panthan's got like, or what? Well, maybe somebody's got something that routed off and it's hiding in a tree somewhere. Let's see. Oh no, it is. He didn't finish off these 2 guys. I thought he would have. Opened up and finished them off with arrow fire. We'll give them their last stand, but Just keep on loading, boys. Hey, good. And hey, dude, if you kill this last Scion, that would be pretty impressive. Get that unit wiped out. It looks like Panthan was even like looking around. I think he was maybe thinking that Gondolin had something tucked away, hidden, but no, he's now realised where the last fighters are, and he's going to be coming charging in. I mean, yeah, well, you've got to try and kill the Scion. That's really your only, you know, the highest value kill you can do. But okay, oh hey, one more down, good stuff, boys. But no, they shouldn't survive long once they actually get charged. They didn't get killed by the charge though. But the Scion and the hewing forces there should be enough to take it out or take them. But don't break. As long if they don't break, I'll be quite chuffed to bits actually. No, well, he's fighting to the death. That was fine.
Our enemy flees before us
He
like
did
a
his
herd
best.
of goats.
I see
Drive
that
them from the battle.
had Gervais not had those 13 guys right. Very equal kills there, boys. That was quite. I like that. Like usually, as I say, 3-man free for alls are very tough to keep them even. But the boys went in there with very good mindsets, and I think that was a really interesting little fight for just 3 guys scrapping away. And I think that everybody definitely had a path to victory. Unfortunately, as I say, Gervais missed out on that path to victory. I genuinely think if he had those 13 guys, he still could have won. Yeah, genuine. It was them routing that lost it. And especially if he had wiped out those eagle-eyed, then they wouldn't have been able to get that rear charge off, which would have meant Gondolin would have killed an awful lot more and maybe even won. I still don't think Gervais would have won, but it was possible. It was possible. Anyway, shoot. Let's have a quick look at these kills. 182 for these Hewin boys. He's got his general with the hunters of Mithrim there. How did the Scions go? Was I just like 195? Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I love the Scions. I'll always take them when I play the Grey Elves. But I don't play the Grey Elves too often, I should state. But I just think they're really cool. But yeah, I mean, I would have maybe thought a few more kills. But keep in mind, they were fighting Gondolin forces. Like this was a battle of elves. What really surprises me is when you look at the men deployed, Artorias wasn't actually that far behind Panthan. And Gervais, as much as I say Doriath is more high tier, I would say it's middle tier in like quality, I guess. Upper mid tier, I'd say. He had like a massive army compared to everybody else. So yeah, quite interesting to see that dynamic. But yeah, cool. So thank you guys very much, and I will see you later.